Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news begins now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. First tonight, a significant step forward for Tasmania's energy security, locking the state's first large-scale solar farm. But the announcement is being overshadowed by lingering questions over the cost of storing the new Spirit ferry in Scotland.
One of the state's oldest farms turning a bright idea into a powerful reality, transforming 600 hectares of land into a clean energy hub.
We've been around on this bit of dirt for 201 years, and I want to make it another 201 years. And the only way you can do that is be ahead of the game.
Hydro Tasmania striking a deal to buy output from the $500 million solar project.
New generation from variable renewables like solar as well as wind are really complementary to the rich hydropower portfolio we have.
Once it's operational, the 288 megawatt farm will become the state's 4th largest energy generator.
It will power around 70,000 homes. That's enough energy to power Launceston and surrounds.
While the state government is powering ahead with the energy commitment, Tasmanian taxpayers are still in the dark over the Spirit saga. The cost to keep the new ship in Scotland yet to be revealed.
This is just the latest example of the cover-up. Just be honest about what it's costing Tasmanians to park those Spirits in Scotland.
Due to dock in Leith in the coming days, but the price tag remains a mystery.
And when the Port Authority understands what services it requires, that would be how you would come to an agreement on what the berthing cost will be.
Talk about a bad negotiating position. You'll have the Spirit docked in Scotland while you're trying to negotiate how much it's going to cost.
The government's finances also a sticking point for the Tasmanian business sector. The latest TCCI survey showing just 1 in 5 businesses are happy with the latest budget, and 2/3 are worried about the debt and deficit levels.
Worried about how that would impact obviously the state into the future. They really did hone into the need for public service reform.
There are headwinds out there in not only in Tasmania but globally around business confidence. But you know, the Tasmanian business sector is really resilient.
Victoria Risto, 7 Tasmania News.
A lucky escape for 2 people stranded in floodwaters on the east coast this morning. St Helens Marine rescuers wading through water before they were able to extract the couple from the causeway on Binalong Road. The rescue follows an overnight drenching across large parts of the state, the highest total grey with 208 millimetres. Several flood warnings remain in place tonight. Kaya Wicks will of course have the latest for us later in weather. A mountain biker involved in a crash at Medina remains in a critical condition tonight. The man in his 50s was airlifted to the Royal Hobart Hospital yesterday after a crash at the Enduro Jam event. 2-day competition offers racing for all levels of riding skill. The Greens continue to call for the state government to come clean on who funded its campaign for the most recent election. Despite donation reform legislation passing the lower house this week, they claim more transparency is needed.
We know that the major parties have accepted money from big salmon corporations before. What we need now from the Liberals is some honesty. Have they taken money in the 2024 state election campaign?
It's very much a matter for the party. I would certainly expect that the Liberal Party complies with the law.
The Greens bill still needs to pass the upper house, and if so, it would come into effect in July. Half of Tasmanian adults struggle with their reading and writing skills, but a new podcast is hoping to change this. Using the insights and knowledge from those living with a disability, it unpacks the struggles and triumphs associated with literacy.
Rewriting the rules for literacy learning, a new podcast is hoping to boost confidence amongst Tasmanians.
The podcast is a celebration of literacy programs that are happening in Tasmania and the things that we can do to improve literacy statistics.
Literacy Legends uses lived experience among locals with disabilities, helping to amplify their voices and shine a light on what is being done to make learning to read more accessible.
You can't truly have that understanding without that lived experience, and it allows you to connect on a level, and it allows us to be in control of our own narratives.
All while gaining crucial storytelling skills and confidence.
They have really picked up the skills of using microphones, interviewing, connecting with their talent.
The podcast isn't just aiming to educate listeners about basic reading and writing capabilities, but also everyday life skills.
Use the ATM, use computers, fill out forms.
As well as helping to break down the barriers associated with literacy difficulties.
A theme that we saw across the podcast was shame, and how so much that people felt shame and hid their experiences with literacy and hid their abilities to read.
The platform aims to provide a safe and welcome space to address the issue.
Podcasts have an incredible way of speaking to you in a really intimate way. It's you listening to one person speak their story.
More has to be done in Tasmania and work hard to make sure that we are improving those rates. It's not a new thing. Work has to be done.
Rebecca Gadaneris, 7 Tasmania News.
Anybody who's been to a Jackie's home game knows how boisterous it gets inside the arena, but that's not everybody's cup of tea, especially fans with sensory issues. Now comfort packs are being handed out to anyone wanting to escape the noise.
Jackie's fans are known for being some of the loudest in the league, with clappers, cheering and screams of excitement often dominating My State Bank Arena.
It drops eventually, but it's too little too late for Brisbane.
But for people living with sensory issues, it can quickly become an overwhelming environment.
We love going, it's such a great atmosphere, but it can get quite loud for especially my 5-year-old.
Sensory packs set to be offered to fans in need, with a weighted blanket, fidget spinner and noise-cancelling headphones.
These items are curated, so they are items that we know that can help people deregulate their senses. So a blanket can make people feel comfort. Sunglasses can help with all the sort of, lights.
The club's also hoping to make viewing the game more accessible, introducing more courtside seats, with plans to create a quiet space.
To make sure that everybody that comes to a Jack Jumpers game can enjoy it in their own way.
These packs will be available from Thursday at the game, with the quiet sensory room to be launched next season, ensuring more fans can be part of the action.
Everybody can't have the same experience. We're not all tuned exactly the same way, and so being able to provide for a diverse audience is really important.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
The Jack Jumpers have bounded back from the FIBA break to hand the Adelaide 36ers their first home loss in a year. But coach Scott Roth still isn't happy, describing the final moments as being like high school basketball and admitting there's still plenty of work to do before Thursday's clash with the Taipans.
They might have been in South Australia, but the Jackies seemed right at home. Captain Clint Steinel putting 3 points on the board early.
Steinel who starts out hot.
The Jack Jumpers pushing hard for their third consecutive win. Will Magnay stepping up, holding pressure on the 36ers' offensive side, while putting away a few of his own.
Nice pass to Rungy. Magnay, easy underneath, 8-point lead.
But Adelaide held strong, both sides neck and neck into the second quarter.
Nick Marshall, he needs no invitation.
The Jackies managing to stay ahead, just a point difference at half-time. Anthony Drimmick putting 12 points on the board for his 250th NBL game, back where he began, following a tough start to the season.
In these last 2 to 3 weeks of playing, he's just slowly gotten back into form, and this was just another good game for him to be in rhythm and what he's been doing for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Majuk Deng helping cement a Jackie's win, heating up in the final minutes. Magnay continuing to hold a solid defence. The final minutes, however, turned less than pretty.
Oh, what? Oh, hell no! No way! Challenge that! That's all ball!
Both sides neck and neck with minutes left on the clock. Majuk Deng once again proving crucial as the seconds tick down.
Deng for another!
But it was Sean McDonald cementing the win, 73 to 77.
Down to 5 seconds on the shot clock. Sean McDonald inside, got it to go!
That last 5 minutes was a little bit like high school basketball for us, which we're going to have to improve in some areas there. But our guys were resilient, and a win is a win.
The Jackies will host the Cairns Taipans on Thursday night. Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
The Tassie Tigers have fallen agonisingly short of a podium finish in their bronze medal match against New South Wales Pride in Hobart this afternoon. The scores were level at 4 apiece at the end of the fourth quarter, sending the game into an overtime penalty shootout.
Australia's goalkeeper to beat in down to this. Matty Brooks, the captain, has the hopes that have been building for 44 years on her shoulder here. And that'll do it. The New South Wales Pride claim bronze.
It wasn't to be for the Tassie Tigers though, the Pride winning the shootout 3-0.
Good evening to you. On the very first day of summer, we experienced intense falls as predicted. And in the 24 hours to 9 a.m, Grey recorded a staggering 208 millimetres in the gauge. There were also damaging winds overnight with gusts of 102 kilometres an hour at Mount Reid. Hobart recorded 27, 23 in Launceston and 21 for both Burnie and Devonport. 26 the common temperature at Flinders Island, Grove, Bushy Park and Strawn. 25 at Marai Island, St Helens 24, 19 at Smithton and Low Head, King Island 17 and just 16 today in Lyowini. We saw plenty of cloud around a low pressure system pushing towards the northwest of the state. High cloud is seen extending from southern Queensland coast and also the coast of New South Wales pushing toward Tasmania. Tomorrow a low will move well to the south of the island with a weak ridge building to the north of the state. West to northwesterly winds 15 to 25 knots, reaching 20 to 30 knots about northern and southwestern waters at times. Southwesterly swells peaking to 2.5 metres. A strong wind warning has been issued for the entire state tomorrow, and several flood warnings also remain. A partly cloudy day in Hobart tomorrow, 24, showers clearing in Dover 23, 25 and possible morning showers in Ouse. A few showers on the way in Launceston, 25, possible showers in Devonport 21, 22 in Scottsdale with showers easing there. A mix of wet and windy conditions for the west, 21 for Burnie and Stanley, 20 the high expected for Strawn. A little grey in St Helens, 24, much the same for Swansea 26, a morning shower in Ross with 26 also. Forecast for Tuesday, showers about the northwest extending statewide during the morning. Now they'll ease and contract to the west and south in the evening. Wednesday we will welcome a fine and sunny day apart from morning isolated showers about the southwest. And on Thursday, fine conditions continue with light winds and afternoon sea breezes. Here's what's happening on the mainland tomorrow. Fine in Canberra and Sydney, developing showers in Adelaide 32, storms for Darwin and Alice Springs. Cloudy in Hobart right now, 22 degrees. Cloudy also in Launceston with 19, although some rain in Devonport with 16. Now the tree can officially go up, Nick, and only 26 days until those hot cross buns hit the supermarket shelves.
Maybe a bit controversial, but I'm happy to eat hot cross buns all year round, Kaya. Well, that's all your news for now. Kim will be back tomorrow. We'll see you then.